Welcome to Phoenix Design's YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to design this interface and also add some prototyping features and a little bit of interaction. Of course, we don't want to design something that is just static. Okay, so let's design. As we zoom in a little bit, you'll see that we have some items on our canvas. Okay, let's close this. We have a navbar, the hero text, and the subtext. Okay, so let's draw a frame. We are going to use the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and there we have it. Let's go and look at our first screen. Okay, we have the black background. Let's create that. Now select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle inside our frame. We're going to change the constraints as so. Okay, that's good. Now we're gonna change the background color to something that's a bit dark. Yeah. Now we're gonna drag our nav bar into the frame and we'll align it to the center of the frame. We'll keep it at 64 pixels from the top. To be sure we are having a proper alignment, we're gonna add a column grid of 12 counts. Okay, so that's good. The next thing we're going to work on is the background element. So let's see what we have. We have this shape, and yeah, we have this shape. So let's create that. So let's draw a circle. And let's also draw a rectangle. Now we're going to select both shapes and subtract. Now we have this shape. We're going to flip it over vertically and add an effect, which is the inner shadow effect. Change the color to white and tweak the settings. We're going to change the field to something that's dark so that we can see the changes made by the effect. Okay, so this is good. We're going to add another inner shadow effect and take it below the one we just did. Now we're going to change the color to something that looks like this and change the y-axis as well and increase the blur. Good. We're also going to add one more inner shadow effect and take it down, change the color, okay, and we're also going to tweak the y-axis, and of course we're going to increase the blur. Good, so now we have something that looks like this. Nope, let's take it down. So I'm just trying to make a few adjustments on the inner shadow effects. Okay, I think this works, at least for now. Okay, this is good. It's a little bit close to what we have in the original design. Of course, we'll still touch this. So we're gonna drag this shape into our frame. Oh, let me use the layers panel. Okay, now we're going to adjust the size and the position. I think we can still work on the gradient feature or the inner shadow effect feature. Let's look at this again. We'll go back to our inner shadow and increase the blur. Okay. We'll adjust the y-axis and also increase the blur. Let's see. Okay. We can also do the same with this one. All right, so let's work with this. Next up, we're going to duplicate this shape and flip it. We're going to go back and adjust the effects and do the opposite of the y-axis. Okay, so let's bring this down and send it to the back. Good, so the next thing we're gonna do is to add a gradient at the base so that the design will look more realistic. Okay, so we're gonna go to linear gradient and we're gonna adjust the settings. We're going to select the dark colors for both of them and set the opacity of the one on top to 0. Yeah, good. Now we're going to add a layer blur effect to this shape. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so let's zoom out. Next up, we need to create this effect, okay? And let's do that. So we're gonna draw a frame. Yeah, a perfect square. And round the corners totally. Yes, then we're going to add an effect, and that effect is called the glass effect. Let's drag it into our frame, and we're going to adjust the settings of the glass effect as so. Good. So now we have something like this. Okay. Let's send this to the back so that we can see or let's drag our frame. Let's rename it to navbar. We're gonna drag it to the top. Yeah, it should stay at the top. Now we're going to select our logo and duplicate it, or hold Alt on the keyboard, drag it to the center of the frame, but outside of the frame. Yes. And we're going to increase the size. Let's centralize this too. For this frame, we're going to name it to Glass Effect. And the logo, let's increase the size a bit. And we're going to change the appearance to overlay. Good. So we have this. That's looking good. Now we're going to drag in our text. Now I left the frame outside. Let's select all of them and drag them inside. Okay, the next thing we're going to design is the frame for our nav links. Okay, so we're going to first, let's duplicate the nested frame so that we'll see what it's made of. So let's duplicate this home nav link, and as you can see here, it's made up of a frame. That's an auto layout frame and a text inside it. Okay, so yeah, and the fill for this frame is just 5% of this color, and for the text it's 16 pixels, pop-ins, and regular. Yeah. So let's drag this here. Let's name this to link and duplicate it. Now we're going to highlight these two links and hit Shift A on our keyboard. Now they're in an auto layout, so we can duplicate without worrying about spacing. Now we can simply rename the contents of this link to what we want. Name this to product. Name this to blog. This one is sign up. And lastly, download. For the download button, we're going to change the fill to white, actually, not black. Or something that looks like white. Yeah. Now for the text, we're going to change it to black. That's the color. We're going to change the color to black. Okay. I think we're good to go. Just a few adjustments. Okay, so for the dividers, we're going to draw a line, a straight line, and we're going to put it inside our frame. Change the width to fill. Rename it to divider. Okay, now we're going to duplicate and align them properly to where they should be. The next thing we're going to do is to kind of decrease their opacity. Yeah, so this is good. Okay, so let's rename this frame. Yeah, we're going to name it a menu. Let's delete this. What else do we have? We need to design this close icon feature. So let's do that. We're gonna use the line tool to create that. So head over to your toolbar and select the line tool, then click and drag. Then we're going to rotate it to, let's say, 45 degrees and duplicate this. We're going to also do the same to the second line. Okay, so this is good. Now we're going to group them. So the next thing we're going to do is to highlight the both of them and add an auto layout. That's Shift A. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to adjust the padding and we'll add a stroke and reduce the opacity. Let's increase the space between them to 20 pixels. And I think we need to increase the width. Yeah. Okay, this is good. For the padding at the top, I think I would want to change it to 20 pixels. Yeah, okay. Okay, this looks good. Let's rename it to Open Overlay. What else can we do here? We can round the corners, let's say 12 pixels. Okay. Yeah, I think this looks good. Okay, let's drag this close to our home page. Okay, this is good. Right now we're done with the first stage of the design and we're going to start adding transitions to our screens. So let's prototype. Before that, we would want to group these two elements. Yes, because right now they are just acting as a single element. So we're gonna name this glass effect. Yeah, main glass effect. Okay, so now we're gonna duplicate this frame. Let's rename it to 01. To achieve this transition effect, we're going to duplicate this frame 5 times, okay? And why we are doing this is so that at the end of the day, we maintain the initial design, both the spacing, the elements, while changing the position of the elements in the preceding frames. So we're going to start by shifting this up and taking the other one down. Okay, now we're going to reduce the appearance to 0%. And we're going to shift this one down as well and also change the appearance to 0%. Okay. We're also going to change the appearance of the text to 0% as well. Now for the second frame, instead of doing that all over, we're simply just going to copy what we did in the first frame, since we're maintaining that transition, that state, and we'll paste to replace. Okay, and we're going to do same for the glass effects, the main glass effect. We're going to copy, we're going to delete this one and select the frame and paste. No, not there. Just gonna hit Ctrl V so that it pastes at the exact spot. All right, that's good. And yeah, we'll leave the background the way it is because we're gonna transition in. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Now we're going to move to the third frame. For the third frame, the text, the hero text, the main hero text is going to be visible. So we're going to set the subtext to 0%. That's the appearance. And the main glass effect is still going to be set to 0% as it was in the preceding frame. So we're going to copy and paste. That's good. Now onto the fourth frame. This is where the entire text is going to be visible, but the glass effect will still be hidden. So we're going to just paste since we already have it copied. And then, yeah, this is good. And then the last frame, everything stays the same. Yes, everything is going to stay the same because that's the final state. All right, so now we have our frames ready. We're going to switch from design to prototype and start adding interactions. So we're going to connect the first frame to the second one, change the trigger to after delay of 0 milliseconds. The animation is going to be smart animate, and we're going to increase the duration to 2000 milliseconds. For the second frame, which will connect to the third, we're going to set the trigger to after delay, 0 milliseconds. We'll change the animation to dissolve. And yes, I think this is it. The duration is going to be 1000 milliseconds. Then for the third frame, which will connect to the fourth, for the animation, we're going to leave it at dissolve, and the duration is going to be around 1000 milliseconds. And the curve is going to be ease in and out. Then for the fourth one, we're going to connect it to the fifth frame, change the animation to smart animate, the curve to gentle, and the duration to around 1600 milliseconds. Let's make it 2000. Okay, and change the trigger to after delay of 0 milliseconds. And that's right, I forgot to change the trigger of the third frame to after delay. Okay, now we've done the connections. Let's view the prototype. Okay, this is good, but is not as smooth as I want it to be. We can still tweak the settings. Let's see, from here, we can increase the duration. Okay. And let's see for the third frame. Okay, let's leave it at this. Let's see. No, let's highlight our first frame. Okay, we can work with this for now. Let's add the interactive feature for the overlay. So we're going to select the open icon and connect it to the overlay. Okay, so for the interaction, the trigger is going to be on tap, the action is going to be open overlay, and the position, we're going to set it manually. So let's position it where we want. So for the background of this overlay, we're going to give it a feel of white and change the opacity to, let's say, 20 or 10 or even something lower, 5. 5 is good. And we're going to add an effect, background blur. Okay, so now we have this. We're going to copy the nav bar and select all other nav bars and then paste to replace. And by doing this, we've maintained the interaction across all the screens. Okay, so let's preview this. And for some reasons, this close icon is functioning. I don't know why, although I've not set any interaction on it. But let's just do that. So we're going to, let me zoom in a bit. I'm going to select the close icon, add an interaction, untap, and we'll set it to close overlay. So that's how to do it properly. Let's preview again. Okay, so I think this is good to go. Let's change the duration because I think it's taking much time. Let's see for the third screen. Okay, 1200, delay 100 milliseconds. Let's see how it goes. For this one, we're going to set it to 1600. All right, so let's see how it goes. We still need to adjust this setting so that it's smooth. Okay, this is good. One more thing, let's add a little interaction for this overlay so that when we click outside, it can close. So we're going to click on the prototype, and for this checkbox, we're going to just select all of them. Now we're going to copy this nav bar and paste to replace on all other screens. Of course, if you're doing this in a project, you will need to make use of components so that once you set the prototype, everything changes on all the screens. For this, let's reduce the duration. I think it's taking much time. Alright, this is okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to practice, because it's by practicing that we perfect our skills. And remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.